Good morning and welcome to my channel once again. Let's do a quick revision of the chapter Poets and Pancakes by Asokamitran. And let us move on to the first slide of this chapter and try to understand it. First of all, let us discuss about the writer. As you can see on my left side, it is Asokamitran. He was one of the most prominent writer in Tamil literature. He has written more than 200 short stories. As you can see on the screen, it is written. He has written almost 8 novels and 15 novellas. Novellas are short stories, short novels, less than 100 pages. Then he was a distinguished essayist and critic. He was even awarded with the Sahitya Academy Award for his prominent works in literature. Moving forward to the next page, this is S.S. Vasan. If you can look at my right side, the face, he was the producer of the movie company Gemini Studios. And let us know about him a bit. He was an Indian journalist, writer, advertiser, film producer, director, and business tycoon, a very popular name in Madras at that time, founder of Tamil language magazine Ananda Viketan, and even the founder of Gemini Studios, about which this chapter, Poets and Pancakes, is. Moving forward to the next slide, now let us discuss some important points here in this chapter. Ashokamitran talks about Gemini Studios, as you can see. Then he starts by making a mention about Pancake, a famous makeup brand which was being used in truckloads in Gemini Studios. He then talks about the plight of actors and actresses who have to bear too many lights on their faces. Why? Because the makeup studio was having many incandescent lights over there and all the lights were on, so it becomes quite difficult for them to get ready. Finally, he talks about the makeup department. The question may come for 2 marks about the makeup department, the hierarchy which was there in this department. Actually, the hierarchy was that the top makeup artist is going to get the ready, the actor and actresses. Then beneath him, the next makeup artist is going to prepare the side actor and the side actress. And then the crowd will be made ready by the office boy. So this is how the hierarchy used to work over there. One more question will come about the makeup department, and that question will be about national integration, because in makeup department there used to be people of different ethnicity, different culture, religion working together under the same roof. That's why it was a national integration in a small format inside the makeup department of Gemini Studios. Let's move on to the next page. A little bit about the pancakes. This makeup is named for cosmetic face powder that has been compressed into a cake. That's why it was named pancake. Okay, quite popular and used in abundance by Gemini Studios. Truckloads of it used to be called. Then it is a type of thick and heavy oil and wax based foundation makeup which was used during the earlier times by the earlier actresses during the earlier movies. Then let us move on to the next page. A bit about Gemini Studios. So if you can see, this is the logo of Gemini Studios. We have two brothers. And why exactly this logo was or this name was taken by the producer S.S. Vasan? Let us see about it. It is a film studio in Chennai today, earlier Madras. 1940, S.S. Vasan bought a film distribution concern at an auction and renamed it. This was already a company. When it was purchased by S.S. Vasan, he changed it into Gemini Studios. The name was chosen because Mr. S.S. Vasan was involved in horse racing and his famous or favorite horse was named as Gemini. So it has nothing to do with family, it has nothing to do with Vastu or anything. It was because he was having these horse racing things and his horse was named as Gemini. That's how the name Gemini Studio came with the two brothers symbol. Moving further, let us now read the chapter character by character because this is a non-fiction chapter. We don't have any particular story about it. We are going to have different small characters about which the questions will be asked in the CBSE board exams. So, very first character is our author himself, Asokamitran, who was the part of Gemini at that time. Now, let us see what kind of work he used to do over there. So, his job profile, his primary duty was to cut and file the newspaper clippings. As you can see, that was the only thing he used to do, sitting in a cubicle, cutting and filing the newspaper articles and clippings about Gemini. Second part, he was a silent observer. because his job was stationary in a cubicle. So he used to observe all the people in and around him in the Gemini studio, and that is how he was able to frame this narrative, Poets and Pancakes. Then his narrative style is known for his gentle humor, irony, and satire. As we can see, he's talking about everything: Gemini Studio, makeup department. He's talking about Pancake brand. He's talking about Office Boy. But if you look, it is in a form of humor, in a form of satire and irony. That how they used to use things in excessive and how things were there in a movie studio. Moving forward to the next page, Office Boy, the next main character we have, a very short character, will not come more than 2 marks question. So, who was the Office Boy? He was not a boy, he was a man in his early 40s who is working in Gemini for last 15 to 18 years. He came with an aspiration to become an actor, but he ended up becoming an office boy. His duty was he was responsible for crowd players. He used to literally slap the makeup on the face of the crowd, which used to stand behind the actor and actresses in the movie. Unfulfilled dreams. He joined the studio with high hopes of becoming a star, actor, top screenwriter, or director. But we know he's an office boy only. Then he was envious and jealous of whom? He was jealous of Kothamangalam Subbu. If you can look at this part I've highlighted, Kothamangalam Subbu, who was number two at Gemini. And this person, office boy, who was at the bottom of the ladder, was jealous of Kothamangalam Subbu because he used to believe that this place, this number two place, belongs to him, not to Kothamangalam Subbu. We'll see how. Okay. Next character is Kothamangalam Subbu itself. K. Subbu, we used to call him in the chapter. And he was the number two at Gemini, which means after the producer, the owner, he was the one who was the whole soul responsible for everything. And why so? Position, he was number two. Multi-talented genius, that is very, very important because his character may come for a 5 mark question also. So he was a versatile actor, brilliant poet, and a novelist. As you can see the highlighted part. He wrote high quality poetry and chose to write in simple Tamil for the masses. Okay, he had this personality. He was a good writer, a very good actor, also hustler. Also, he know how to give work to everyone in the studio. But he chose that he will only and only direct. He will only and only take care of the studio rather than being famous or popular for being a writer or anything or anyone else. Next, problem solver. He was incredibly resourceful person. The boss is stuck in a scene. Subbu could suggest 14 different ways to perform it instantly. That's why most probably he must have been chosen for this number two position. He was a problem solver. Next is he was charitable nature, a person who was very charitable because whoever used to come to Madras to look out for any kind of opportunities for themselves, he used to give them shelter at his home and food for free without ever thinking of anything. That particular thing also adds up to the color to why he was number two. One more thing we have discussed is loyalty. He was very loyal, absolutely loyal to his company and creative. That's why SS Vasan has left everything on his shoulders because he could be trusted. Moving forward to the next person. Next person was the legal advisor, the lawyer, and one more thing, why we said that the writer's narrative style was satire and irony and humor, because the legal advisor is basically a lawyer. But here in the chapter, if you have read, he has written him as illegal advisor. Why so? Let us see. The name was opposite, as you can see the highlighted part. Officially, the legal advisor in the story department. He was known to everyone as illegal advisor or the opposite. He was a career destroyer. A 2 marker question will come. How he was responsible for the destruction of the career of an actress. A very brilliant one. So it is he unwittingly ruined the career of a promising actress who was temperamental, who got angry one day and she was saying something. He recorded her audio and later played it to her. She got so much terrified by that act, she left the studio on that day itself and stopped doing movies and films and everything. So that's how he was career destroyer. Then, if you can look, he is a standout appearance. This question may come as an artisty part. Everyone else in Gemini was a Khadi wearer and a follower of Gandhi. Only this particular lawyer or the legal advisor used to wear the Western clothes, the coat, pen, tie, and everything like that. Most probably because, of course, his career demands that, and most probably he might not be the follower of Khadi or Gandhi. Then, end of career, how it happened? He used to work with the story department of Gemini. One day, he suggested some movie to the author, to the producer, and the movie was produced. It was a flop. And what happened? The producer, he closed the story department, and with the story department, he also lost the job. So it was one such case where a lawyer lost a job because the story department was closed. Fine. Moving further to the next particular part, next slide. Next two-marker question will be about Moral Re-Armament Army, MRA. Frank Buchanan was a person who brought this particular army or this particular playwright group. He brought this group to Gemini in Madras and stayed there for some time. And they were actually playing many different plays. They were doing many plays over there in Madras and become quite very popular. Let us see what was there. It was a counter movement. MRA was a 200 members strong group that acted as a counter movement to international communism. You can also say it is anti-communistic movement. Then plays and professionalism. They staged two plays. One was Jotham Valley and the second one was The Forgotten Factor. Jotham Valley was quite very popular. The people of Madras have taken the sunrising and sunset scene of Jotham Valley in their plays even after MRA left India. Then influence on Tamil drama, I have already told you, specifically the use of white background, sunrise and sunset scene were copied from MRA by the Indian playwrights. Finally, the political reception. They were welcomed with open arms by the big boss, Mr. Vasan, because the people of Gemini generally had an aversion to communism. The people at Gemini were anti-communist. This was also going on side by side in the studio. Next is Stephen Spender, the last character, most important one in this chapter. He was an author, a very prominent one in England, but the people of Gemini were not aware of him because they were all Tamil people. Very few of them knew how to speak in English or understand English. So for them, understanding or listening to a poet who has come from England, who is not too much known to them, was quite a hassle. It was quite very difficult. What happened? Unexplained mystery. Why he came, what he spoke, nothing was clear to them when he visited first time to Gemini. Then baffling speech. He gave a long speech about freedom and democracy, which left the audience dazed and silent because they had no idea what he was talking about. Then the god that failed. Finally, many years later, when the author, the narrator, the Asokamitran, discovered a book while he was walking on the roadside, he saw a book on a discounted rate, and the book name was The God That Failed. And there, when he purchased the book, the name of one of the writers was Stephen Spender, and he felt like as if he has found the reason behind his mysterious visit, and that reason was he was also anti-communist. Then significance. Discovery finally cleaned the mystery for the narrator. Spender had been invited because his anti communist views aligned with the political stance of the studio's management. So, alongside where one hand SS Watson was producing movies, on the other side he was also promoting anti communism through inviting different guests from foreign countries. Moving forward to the next part, key themes. The world of make believe, reality versus illusion. The chapter highlights the pancake, which was used to hide the natural face and create a cinematic illusion. Then, the satire on internal politics and envy by the character of the office boy and Kothamangalam Subbu. We saw this politics and envy and all. Then, communism and political influence. We saw that MRA, Stephen Spender, all these visits were anti communist ways of the S.S. Vasan, the producer, to find out some ways to influence the people of Madras and the country through anti-communism. Then, short answer type questions. Finally, we have reached to the last part. Let us now see if we are able to understand all these questions or not, or answer them or not. First one, yes. So the first one we have, why was the makeup department of Gemini Studio is compared to a fairy misery? So fairy misery because there used to be too many lights over there, and actors and actresses used to feel uncomfortable while getting ready inside the makeup studio. What work did the office boy do in the Gemini studio and why was he frustrated? The office boy used to slap the makeup on the crowd and he was frustrated by Kothamangalam Subbu's position at number 2. Subbu is described as many-sided genius. If you can look over here, I will also highlight this part, many-sided genius. So why so? I have already explained that part. You can stop the video or go back again and see the part of Kothamangalam Subbu. Why was a legal advisor known as the illegal advisor? Once again, this question we have discussed in the previous slides. What was the Moral Re-Armament Army and why were they welcomed at the Gemini studio? We have already discussed this MRA and its role, why it was welcomed by the Gemini. Then, why was the visit of the English poet Stephen Spender considered an unexplained mystery? Because no one was able to understand why the poet was there at Gemini, giving a lecture to 600 people working over there in English, which they do not understand at all. Fine. Then, why was the encounter? What was the encounter? How did it help Asokamitran solve the mystery? The encounter was actually the newspaper, the newsletter, which was published by Stephen Spender. He was the editor of it. And later on, many years later, when Asokamitran started becoming a writer, so he has written one particular short story and something, which was organized by the encounter. And when he read the name of the editor, he felt like as if he has found a long lost brother. That's how the mystery was unfolded by Asokamitran many years later. Moving to the long answer questions, character analysis may come about Subbu. I've already told you he is a character of 5 marks, so pay attention to him. Thematic study, we can discuss about the theme of office politics, humor, satire of makeup department. Most probably makeup department part will come. Then political undertone, questions will come about anti-communism, questions will come about MRA, and you may actually in this entire answer, one single answer, discuss both MRA and Stephen Spender's visit to answer this question. Finally, the last part is narrative style. So how he was satirical, sitting in a cubicle, observing everything around him, and then piecing out this narrative, chalking out this narrative of Poets and Pancakes. So this was it. This was a revision of the chapter Poets and Pancakes. I hope I have been able to explain everything to you and make it easy, because this chapter normally bores the students down when they read it line by line and word by word. Go question by question, step by step, and you will understand everything. Thank you very much for watching this video. Bye bye.